Hi folks, I'm going to show you how to fix this floor.
All right, here I got two holes that are just more or less being a problem for setting any kind of a floating floor over top of. As you can see with the plumbing here, there's going to be sink cabinets all the way across, but it will be a furniture style cabinet where the floating floor goes all the way underneath of the cabinet. And the legs will be here, it'll be screwed to the wall, and legs will be over there. So nothing will ever set foot here. So this requires just really a very simple, basic repair here. Just a little small square, big enough for me to put my backing in the hole without blocking up my own hole, but it always requires backing whenever there's not a joist to bear on, or it's not a tongue and groove joint that's inherent with the full sheets of plywood. So again, that'll be my driving factors for the size of these holes. So this will probably be about an 8 by 8 hole, both of them at the smallest. That way I can get 2 inches of bearing on with a 4-inch piece, 2 inches under, 2 inches exposed, and that'll leave me a space in the middle that I can run my hand to hold up the pieces in place while I'm running the screws in to hold it. I do have a joist right here, so I'll take advantage of that and let that be part of the structure. And like 8 inches there. And there's my 8-inch hole there. I could probably get by with a little bit shorter. I'm going to choke it up a little bit. No need to get it out in front of the cabinet. So let's just keep it, make sure it stays behind the cabinet. I'm going to do the same thing here. This time I can use this. See, I have a natural break right there. So I'm going to use that. And I got to have some room for my saw to operate. So I got to stay a couple of inches off this wall. And I'm going to let this one run a little shy. There's no need to cut it from joist to joist. It just simply isn't required. And that'll clean up all of this really nice. Good. Nice right there on top of that joist center line. Very cool. Good. It's a good start. And it's T&G, and it was not, oh, there you go. There's the T&G right there, because that is a natural break. And I'm going to block that to get past the lack of a T&G. I'm going to block all 3 sides of this again, so it'll be as strong as what the original was, minus the hole. Fancy that. I got 2 perfect templates of the sizes of the piece of plywood that I need. As a matter of fact, both of them are identical to the sizes that I need. Look at that. I'm going to bring in some scrap pieces that'll fit around this and get this assembled. I'm going to do a little cleanup first. Should be able to see that glue oozing out right there. That one screw that I first set, I took back out. That one missed the end of that plywood. It spun. That's my way of knowing that I got it good. Or I don't. Well, folks, that's how I go around repairing floors that have no real structural consequence. And really, this could do out in the middle of a floor also, for what it's worth. Again, because it's gusseted all the way around. set in glue all the way around both pieces, the perimeter and the infill as well. So it's very strong, very structural. And it's to be stronger than the original flooring that I just took out, again, minus the hole. So if you managed to pick up on something that you liked here, that you learned something new, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it very much. And until later, catch you later. Bye-bye.